Michael Jordan has been a household name for many years. With The Last Dance coming out, we've been able to get a backstage pass into his basketball career. With that being said, we wanted to share 5 facts about Michael that you won't find in the documentary. So, for those Jordan fanatics, here we go. Number 5. Old but still gold. After coming out of retirement for the second time around, Jordan returned to the hard court in 2001. But this time, his airness is wearing a Washington Wizards jersey. Seems weird, huh? Jordan was initially offered a position in the Wizards front office, but the familiar itch of getting back into the court still lingered around Michael at this point. So, at 38 years of age, Michael has decided to scratch that itch by lacing up his sneakers once again, signing a 2-year contract with the Wizards. In those 2 years, Jordan turned back the hands of time and showed that he still had some gas left in his tank, delivering those patented fadeaway jumpers and hitting clutch baskets just like the good old days. Although Jordan wasn't able to carry the Wizards into the postseason, MJ managed to break several records on the way. He's the only 40-year-old player to drop 40 points in a single game, as well as the only 40-year-old to average 20 points or more per game. He also once held the record for being the oldest player to score 50 points or more at the age of 38. MJ ended his 2-year stint with the Wizards by averaging 21.2 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 4.4 assists. His airness only proved that he can still go up with a much younger competition, and even Father Time can't even slow down MJ's greatness. Number 4. Fear of water. Michael Jordan is one of the fiercest competitors in the history of sports. He is not known to back down from a fight and always rises up to any kind of challenge that is presented to him. His airness is simply ain't afraid of anything nor anyone. But if there's one thing that can make the greatest closer in basketball cower in terror, then that would be his lifelong fear of water. His phobia of water began all the way back during his childhood days in North Carolina when he saw one of his friends got devoured into the undertow that eventually led to his death. If that wasn't enough, Jordan almost got dragged into the unforgiving waves when his friend suddenly panicked and grabbed MJ while they were swimming when he was 7 years old. Michael had no choice but to shove his friend to avoid being swept under the strong current. Jordan recalled that tragic day that took away the life of his friend. He also talked about how his friend latched a deathlock onto him while he was hanging on for dear life. The deathlock is when they know they're in trouble and about to die. I almost had to break his hand. He was going to take me with him. He died. The sequence of tragedies didn't stop there. When Michael was in college, his girlfriend drowned in a swimming pool during one of their summer breaks. From that point on, Jordan distanced himself from any significant body of water. He quoted, "I don't go into the water anymore. Everybody's got a phobia for something. I don't mess with water." Number 3. The three-point contest. When you hear the name Michael Jordan, the first thing that will come into your mind is aerial supremacy. Watching MJ's spectacular dunks in midair is like poetry in motion or a moving Picasso painting. He has the flair of a light-footed ballerina whenever he walks on air. And when it's time to put the ball into the hoop, he knows how to throw it down with authority. In other words, seeing Michael glide through the air is without a doubt a thing of beauty. But we are here not to talk about that, nor to talk about his freakish athleticism and impressive hops. We're gonna look back at the time when Michael Jordan joined the three-point contest. Yep, you heard me right. The master of skies shooting long-range threes. It's no secret that MJ's competitive fire is second to none. Simply put, he hates losing and loves winning. Like literally winning every single thing. His obsession for success made him Rookie of the Year, a back-to-back slam dunk champion, and he clearly shows no signs of slowing down, as he wants to add another hardware to his trophy case. So this time around, he tried his luck by participating in the 1990 edition of the three-point contest. Jordan was shooting at a decent 39% from 3 entering the three-point shootout and attempted 245 threes on the 90s season alone compared to his first 5 seasons combined with 287. With these stats laid out, it seemed that his airness was lock and loaded and ready to take on the NBA's lethal snipers. No problem at all, right? Well, in hindsight. Let's just say that his airness should have stuck with putting the ball directly into the basket using his bare hands. The 1990 NBA three-point shootout consists of familiar long-range assassins, Mark Price was there, as well as his Cavs teammate Craig Elo, a young skinny guy named Reggie Miller, and a golden-haired dude who goes by the name of Larry Joe Bird. If that wasn't enough pressure for Mike, his designated marksman for the Bulls, Craig Hodges, was also included into the bunch too. Back then, two competitors took the floor at the same time, so when MJ's name was called up, Hodges got up from his seat too. With everything in place, Jordan simply needs to jack up some shots. Make plenty of those, grab the trophy and go home. That's the plan. True enough, everyone has a plan, until they get punched in the mouth. Or in this case, get simply knocked out by a better shooter. And to rub more salt into the injury, get punched in the mouth using your own hands. Hodges had an impressive showing, knocking down 20 out of 30 shots. Michael, on the other hand, had the worst performance in three-point shootout history. Jordan made not 12, not 10, not 8, and not even 6 points. He got a pair in the first rack, knocked down one in each of the second and the middle racks, and finally culminated with the last bucket prior to the last rack. To sum it all up, the greatest of all time just only made 5 out of 30. Hodges was declared as the winner that night, which was followed by 2 more in the succeeding years. For Jordan, that was the last time he participated in any three-point shootout contest during any All-Star weekend. That was definitely a day to forget for Jordan, and hardcore MJ fans just want to flush down these unpleasant memories down the drain forever. Number 2. The Omega Tattoo. Tattoos have become a symbol of self-expression in modern basketball culture. Regardless, whether it's a physical manifestation of their identity, a representation of a certain philosophy that they believe in, or an idea that they can closely relate to. The love for body art is one of the permanent fixtures that you would often recognize in today's NBA. At first glance, you wouldn't think that Michael Jordan has a tattoo on his body. But just like the majority of the new breed of players, MJ has his own ink too. Not known to many, Jordan has an Omega horseshoe symbol faintly embedded on his left chest. The tattoo symbolizes his allegiance to the Omega Psi Phi, the first predominantly Afro-American fraternity founded in 1911. MJ had his tattoo when he was studying at North Carolina, and Jordan never showed nor mentioned it in public during his heyday with the Bulls, until the NBA finally disclosed this little note fact about Michael in a published article back in 2019. Players like Shaq and Vince Carter have been publicly expressing their commitment to the fraternity by throwing up hooks, which represents the fraternity's symbolic gesture. Other notable members of Omega Psi Phi include former NBA players Alonzo Mourning and John Sally, as well as the famous sports columnist Stephen A. Smith, and well-known TV personalities such as Bill Cosby and Steve Harvey. Number 1. The Stolen Jersey. We all know that Michael Jordan wore the iconic number 23 Bulls jersey throughout his illustrious career, and even briefly donned the number 45 when he came out of his first retirement in '95. But did you know that His Airness once rocked a number 12 jersey? The bizarre incident fell on one lovely evening in the year of 1990. It was a lovely evening indeed because it was Valentine's Day. On that night, the Bulls traveled to the Orlando Arena and were preparing for their matchup against the Magic. But before the tip-off buzzer has sounded, MJ's number 23 jersey was nowhere to be found, and apparently was stolen from the Bulls' locker room. Arena officials then began searching for the suspected culprit. According to the Magic's equipment manager, Rodney Powell, the unexpected situation has put the entire Orlando Magic on notice. People were accusing Magic personnel of stealing the jersey, cleaning crews, just about anyone working in the building that day. When the news broke out to Jordan, Powell said that MJ didn't hide his grievances over the unfortunate mishap. I know when MJ found his jersey was missing, he was very upset and he didn't want to wear a different jersey. With no success in finding the lost jersey, the Bulls even tried to find a similar jersey worn by Jordan fans around the arena that would perfectly fit the 6'6" frame of MJ, but unfortunately, they didn't manage to even find a single one. During pre-game, MJ has also personally expressed his frustration over the matter. That has never happened to me before. It's pretty irritating because you're accustomed to certain things and you don't like to have things misplaced. Luckily, the Bulls staff had a backup jersey for this kind of scenario. So during the player introduction, Jordan was forced to wear a nameless number 12 jersey. Seems pretty awkward, right? Despite wearing a different jersey, Jordan was still able to provide a familiar performance, The jersey swap had little to no effect on MJ as he poured 49 points while shooting 21 for 43 from the field. With that superhuman effort, the Bulls still fell to the Magic and lost in overtime, 135 to 129. The mystery that surrounds the stolen jersey still remains unsolved up to this very day. So who do you really think stole that jersey? Leave your comments below on who you think is the real jersey thief.